Hip-Hop Culture by Naret. Okay, an ideology can be powerful. The idea of race and power has been one of many factors that have led to misunderstanding between ethnic groups and gender relations. The stigma attached to hip-hop culture aids to the degradation of black male in general. The burden of acting white does not help the mental health of black and hip-hop culture that has a negative stigma to society's gatekeepers. Summarizes his view on the gap between black youth and the elderly in the black community. This culture gap is not progressive. Youth, a concept developed by white middle-class values, is for the privileged. Whites who could afford the time and energy to participate in activism and culture had the chance to develop themselves. This is not the case for black males who did not see any future besides poverty. The music genre of rap, most particularly gangster rap, romanticized criminal exploits. These reality-based stories, which were often supported by former gangster rappers known as Ice Cube and Ice-T, brought fear into mainstream America that black youth were out of control. Nihilism, defined as the lived experience of coping with life, of horrifying meaninglessness and hopelessness and lovelessness. Aided with the market economy and the lack of support systems, the black community was at its weakest. Barry and Blasingame mentions that leaders of the black community were not educated by white society. Instead, leaders were dramatists, novelists, and poets. The meaning of music to youthful blacks has an almost entirely different meaning. Alan Lomax, a white folklorist, asked a black singer the meaning of blues. The meaning was revenge. Compared to the meaning of rap music in modern time, revenge is not the meaning behind the drive that young black males to become exploit. The de jure segregation, oppression of blacks through slavery, the black diaspora, which was greatly affected by deterritorialization, encouraged the alternations of cultural practices, public policies, psychology, institutional arrangements, and social discourses that impacted the way blacks lived and processed information. In Income's article, he expresses a concern for lack of ability of white society to understand blacks. W.E.B. Du Bois stated that Tunis was the belief that whites have limited understanding of people of color, whereas the latter have a profound understanding of the cultural frameworks and institutional barriers that whites employ to oppress them. Mayor Kilpatrick of Detroit represented the worst of leaders in the black community, using the exploitation of blacks to suit his own needs. Kilpatrick's dress was flashy, arrogant, and undisciplined. When he ran for mayor for Detroit, his gusto related to many young black males and females. Kilpatrick's use of the word mama during a city council debate and the urging of black youth to vote for him on a local hip-hop station was exploitation to the black community. Regardless of skin color, Kilpatrick was a perpetrator. In the realms of politics, Kilpatrick was not only a black male working the system to rise in a white-dominant career path, but his actions resounded a negative stigma in mainstream society. The conditions in which Detroit was in did not help the black community. Regarding black male's perception on his masculinity, most swagger or charm was not present when it came to rappers. The rapper Nelly was shown in a music video swiping a credit card in between a woman's derriere. Models on set claimed that rappers did not have any game. Apparently, the commercialized image of black males' confidence was not as real as thought out to be. If models wanted to keep on set, sexual favors were made for the rappers. If modern-day rappers actually told like this, then the minstrel show would not be a degrading as it actually is. The glory of being a rapper is real. The confidence is sporadic and the sex is forced. Any charm laid forth was charm to be kept on set. In a way, everyone is happy. Hopkins and Moore writes, many black women and men choose to fight racism while ignoring black gender relations. If not black politicians and black music artists, black comedians are pointing out what is wrong with the black male. Critics of hip-hop also say that women involved in the production of the culture must also take responsibility. There seems to be two sides of the rapper that mainstream society sees. The first being an educator and fighter for social equality, and the second representing men who justifies calling women a hoe because she shakes her butt. Hip-hop is seen as the way out of poverty. Besides sports, education is a foreign concept. The ticket out of poverty is through music and sports. This is the black male's American dream. The influence of rap as a voice of resistance and liberation for urban youth proliferates through such artists as Lauryn Hill, Pras, Wyclef Jean of the refugee camp, Public Enemy, Nas, and Mos Def, who endeavor to bring an accurate yet crucial depiction of the urban situation to a hip-hop generation. Some teachers are using hip-hop to promote cultural awareness and social justice. The education received by the students would fight the ignorance of mainstream society about the perception of black culture and music. The problem with this theory is that it assumes all hip-hop is progressive and promotes social awareness. That is not the case. When teachers pick rappers to exemplify the black community and the hardships that rappers supposedly gone through, teachers must look back at the late 1980s and early 1990s to get a glimpse of the hip-hop golden age. The likeliness of American youth understanding the exploitation of black males and the black community through modern-day hip-hop is slim. Hopkins and Moore states that it would be foolish and naive to believe hip-hop would change the world for the better. Progressivism is not an essence of hip-hop culture. If one would have to attach essence to the hip-hop culture, it would be stagnation. Since its inception in acceptance society, most consumers are white youth. About 80% of the consumers are white society. Embedded in the system of society are privileges for certain people. Equal footing is not a reality. The exploitation of black males in the black community is heard by teenagers with their windows down, blasting the latest club hit. The likelihood of that belonging to the hip-hop culture is strong. The problem with American youth is that any critical analysis of their favorite hip-hop song would be destroying the essence of the feeling they get when listening to it. This statement, "I like what I like," is devoid of any intellectual discourse, a discourse in which hip-hop greatly needs not only but its performers, producers, but by its listeners. The get-rich-quick idea is to the United States. Instead of finding gold, it has become sophisticated through music and sports.